real curious how this works. The steel box descended with heavy clunking sounds towards the school's basement. Wonder if this is how a death row inmate feels when his time finally comes.
Oh.
Rather than that, is it not more like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment? Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived. What do you think? Doesn't it feel just like a real courtroom? It's like a Hollywood movie set, right? Not even close, it's total shit.
Well now.
Okay, everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up now, hurry up. We did what he said and found our seats. The seats were arranged in a giant circle. It was set up so that everyone could see everyone else. Just so it'd be easy for anyone to transfer their attention and unease onto anyone else. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. And so the curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. What the hell is this? Open e-handbook. True bullets. Okay, we know the time of death is estimated 1:30 a.m. Stab wound, the admin, right wrist was fractured. Number of scratches and gouges on the bed and walls in Makoto's room. Took from the gym entryway and put it in his room. The sword was found in the sheath. The sword handle was missing some of the gold coating. Sheath has scratch marks on it for some reason. Switching room keys, we got a toolkit. It's been placed in Makoto's room before it arrived. It remains unopened. There is no evidence of it ever having been used. All the other male students claim they haven't used theirs either, but still. You had to use a screwdriver to get in there, so maybe it wasn't Toko. But if it wasn't Toko, I have no idea who it was. Because it couldn't have been, like, I don't know what 11037 is, or 73011. Not a single hair was found on the floor. Right wrist was fractured, and there's gold paint on it, which is making me think she has a defensive wound from the katana. A series of numbers have been written in blood. 73011. Makoto's bathroom door was difficult to open due to it not fitting in the door frame. The only two people who knew the trick to opening it was Makoto and Sayaka. Been broken, the screws holding it in place have been partially or completely removed. It had to be somebody with a screwdriver. Nameplates on the doors to Sayaka and Makoto's rooms were switched. Incinerator was activated via a switch on a machine. The distance from the gate to the incinerator is roughly 30 feet, so you can't reach it. You have to have been beyond the gate. Maybe it was Ifumi. Piece of burnt clothing with blood on it. The shattered crystal ball. Why would the crystal ball be there? This isn't really going to tell me much. 73011 wouldn't have anything to do with height or weight. I don't think it's Leon. Because if I remember correctly, he was interested in the freaking doing the trial. He didn't seem surprised by anything. Mondo seemed fine. Could be him, but he doesn't seem flustered by anything. Like, just the way they're acting, I want to say Toto, but... or Toko, rather. 73011. 73011. Wasn't that like lead speak or something? Because why would you want to talk to a programmer? I was never good at lead speak. 3 is an E, I know that. So 30 would be an O. 11 would have to be an L. EOLL. 7. What would a 7 be? An upside down capital L? Wait, a 7's a T. So Tiolo? I don't get it. Set skills. Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed, effective during bullet time battle. What the hell is this? Alright, let's figure this out, I guess. Trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Oh god, dude.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started.
So there was a student that didn't make it, maybe?
First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin!
It's about to begin, the debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me, everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely, because I have no idea what's going on. As things progress during the class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statement. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the mouse to aim, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, I guess. Make your argument. Evidence of a struggle.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Okay.
We know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom.
Wrong.
She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Wait, didn't I use a truth bullet there? Something's off about what was just said. Because if Sayaka hadn't resisted at all, there's no explanation for what happened in my room. For this first debate, we'd like to take a quick sidebar. If you're unable to spot and refute someone's lies or contradictions, the argument will repeat. Within a group of statements, some words appear in a different color. Did you happen to notice? No, I didn't. That represents a potential hole in a person's statement, a possible weak spot. Those weak spots are important, though not always inaccurate sections of a person's statement. Your truth bullets are only effective against these weak spots, so when you see one come up, take aim and fire, but only if you're sure it's actually wrong. Also, you can fast forward an argument by holding down a control key. Well then, good luck and have fun.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Alright, that's right.
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
Okay.
In the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to
Wrong.
resist.
No, that's wrong.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Okay, well, we know she was killed with a knife. And we know I didn't do it.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach.
It's a knife, are you blind?
Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No.
No, that's wrong. No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
Did none of you guys, like, look at the knife?
And if
Jeez.
you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Did you think it was a pocket knife?
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
It was her. This doesn't explain the screwdriver, but it was her. She's way too desperate sounding.
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
She's right. There's got to be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Okay. You can concentrate by holding down the space key. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it will steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest and need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun. Always account.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall.
Liar.
No, that's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. When I finished my tea, I went back into the kitchen to wash my glass. One of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
So who did you see come into the dining hall?
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay,
Then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case! Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife.
Well, that pretty much proves it then.
So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife? Hina seemed the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall. No, no way! I swear it wasn't me!
If it was her, then why wouldn't she say that I took the knife?
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
Are you all idiots?
I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we had airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
Has no one in this game been paying attention to anything that's been going
But
on?
if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true! One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Here we go.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Okay, wait a minute. Nuh-uh.
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Oh, so my original theory that I had that she got the knife for a defense weapon? Wait a minute. So that means she left the room, which means maybe when she went back into the room, somebody came in with her and that's when the fight started. Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was... Sayaka, you just said that.
Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
No, you're wrong!
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? They convict me, everyone's gonna
Hold on.
die.
It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Alright, sure. As things advance further in class trial, Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to review an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to deduce the phrase from letters flying around the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down flying letters in the right order. Use the mouse to aim and press the left mouse button to shoot the desired letters. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. This gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun. Something should have been at the scene, but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. Why wouldn't she just say it? Like she knows we investigated it together. We can just figure out what that something is. Yeah, I don't know what my influence is there. Alright, we need an R. Oh, you have to shoot like multiple times to get the colors changed. That's gonna be a problem later.
That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor!
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room?
You hate
It
hair.
wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there.
Her body is there, you idiot.
That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Thank you, God.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
We're letting you decide something so important, and you have the absence of a brain.
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is the object the killer broke. The doorknob.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
Maybe it's Leon.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates, absolutely. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up, but no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun.
The incident took place in Makoto's room.
Yeah.
Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Yes.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
Yes.
Because Sayaka had locked it.
Wrong.
No, that's wrong. The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... That's not lucky at all!
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked, so they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime that they didn't know was that the crime took place in my room.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Which also explains why they might have brought a screwdriver. I'm starting to doubt it's Toko.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
Well, technically, if you wanted to make yourself look like you hadn't done it, you could have done that.
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
She's almost coming to my side there, see? I think she's been a red herring this whole time. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
That's a good question.
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Yeah, that seems smart.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
This whole deal with the numbers is going to come up here. And I really got to figure that out. I'm kind of thinking about it. I don't think it's leet speak. Why would she write leet speak? If you're dying, and the last thing you've got a knife in your stomach, right? And you're writing in blood on the wall, and you're trying to give like a clue before you die as to who did this to you. Does anybody see somebody being like, you know what? I remember when I was in high school and I used to write offensive things on my calculator with numbers like leet speak, and I used to show it to my friends and we all laughed. I'm gonna write it in leet speak. Like, she's not even a programmer. Like, why would she do that? It's not a programming thing necessarily, but why would you do that? So something about that, maybe that 7's not like, maybe that 7's not a T like I was thinking. Maybe it's like an L.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question. Oh, you.
Ouch.
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
I think that I'm starting to think it's a guy. I'm thinking he pushed into the room when she was coming back in from bringing the knife.
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
This only thing makes sense.
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then, maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
Excuse me?
Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
I'm on your left, buddy. Because she asked me to do something in particular because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. There's no way Sayaka let someone in because... switching rooms.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
Well, she was kind of weird.
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Huh? Where's that from? Come see me in my room, check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay? Sayaka. Wait, what is that from? Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
So wait a minute. She was trying to get somebody to go to her room so she could kill them in Makoto's room? So she was the aggressor? Hold up.
When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I'd better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
How do we know it's her signature? Then that note, Sayaka wrote it?
but why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Man, I hope you don't last much longer.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Oh, crap. Make your argument, alright. Dorm nameplates.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words,
Shoot, is that right?
even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
If not, that was it.
It certainly would seem that way.
Yeah, I missed it. Okay. Alright, hold on.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, it's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
See, what's throwing me off here is we're arguing things that were already talked about. So I assume we all know that at that point. Like, we know the room name plates got switched.
They got switched?
Yes, where have you been? Didn't we mention that earlier in the case?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So I'm guessing Sayaka was the one who moved him around.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. The only other person who knew we had switched rooms, Sayaka.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
So I guess it wasn't Monokuma like I thought it was.
You can also infer as much from her note.
Something I want to talk to you about, just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Sayaka was setting somebody up.
What?
And maybe they killed her in self-defense.
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms.
Why would anyone do that?
Oh shit. That explains why that sheath had knife marks on it. It had slash marks on it. Because whoever came in grabbed that katana to defend themselves with because Sayaka had a knife and was trying to stab them.
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room.
So we gotta find out who, like, came in.
That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her.
Other way around.
We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with a fake sword is because when you look at her wrist, there's no doubt. Yeah. Oh, wait.
I got it!
Wait, did I select it?
All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear.
My, controls went weird there for some reason.
Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword, right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
He's saying things to make me think it's not him.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
Makes me think it's not him. What happened in my room, and what led to Sayaka's death, that's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates, which I'd like to hear more, absolutely. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. Oh boy. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spot to refute each statement. So I guess them, like, playing over and over is alright, it just costs you time. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the Q key to rotate the chamber and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the Q key to cycle through each bullet, or you can use the mouse wheel. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the chamber. That's good because I'm playing on kind. For our purposes, this time logic difficulty will be set to mean. Okay, that's mean of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. Replica sword, knife, kitchen set, or sheath. Alright, it's... okay.
When the fighting broke out,
yeah,
the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So, she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
No.
And they killed her with it.
Well, okay, well, yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Okay. The person with the sword really did attack first. There's no explanation for how a certain part of the sword got damaged. It's the sheath.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, that's wrong.
It's the sheath because the sheath had night marks on it.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
Yeah, which makes me think the person that came in was defending themselves from her.
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse.
Exactly.
In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
I don't either.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Her hands? Part of her body, it shows she never used a sword. If she wanted to use the sword, which part of your body would have to touch it? Her palms.
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Technically, the killer could have cleaned her hands, but he apparently missed gold on her wrist, so...
Maybe she washed her hands after she had escaped into the bathroom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
She's so weird. There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because there's a certain regulation that talks about what happens to the rooms at nighttime. The water's off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
No.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The one who damaged the sheath would have had to been the one without the sword. Sayaka.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Yep.
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
In Makoto's room, she was setting him up. Got played, buddy. What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying.
Man, this is getting dark real quick. Can you imagine if you liked a girl and then she turned around and did that to you?
And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's what I said.
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
This would have been one hell of an interesting trial if she had got away with it. And then we had a trial and she was the killer.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we better decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Well, we gotta figure out the trash room stuff here. Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. There's the whole trash room, dude. Dying miss. Oh, that. Shoot. Okay.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Wrong.
No, it's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood.
Okay, hold up.
There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Hold up. I'm looking at that right now, okay. I'm gonna, like, rotate that in my head. You know what now? I'm gonna use my pad. I'm gonna write it down and rotate it around a bit. Maybe it says something, because she says something about the way you write it. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, shit. That's a name. Turn that upside down. Like, flip it and reverse it, like in Missy Elliott or something. And then take those two things that look like L's, and you notice there's a faint line between them. I don't have access to my mouse here, but I would show you. Leon. I was right, that's not lead speech. She wrote it upside down and backwards. I don't know why she wrote it upside down. I don't really even know why she wrote it backwards, but she went to write Leon. That between those two letters, there's a faint N. There's a faint line, like the middle part of an N. She went to write Leon. And he would have had a screwdriver to get into her. Oh, crap, it's Leon.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask.
It's Leon.
Can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
So the question is, Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it. Her finger, that wasn't blood. That
Her
wasn't...
left index finger had blood on it.
Yeah, that was her blood, not the killer's blood.
That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
It all makes sense now.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 1037?
Those aren't numbers, those are letters.
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Yep, I'm right.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
It's obvious now when you see it.
Huh? What?
No, it's just, look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1, 1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1, 1, but... Looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Yeah, notice somebody's very quiet right now.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn, it's no use, I just don't know. I do know.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Yup. Rotate it. I think maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it. So, whose name did she write?
Come on, people, look at it. Sayaka's dying message reveals the killer's name. If you turn a message 180 degrees, it should become crystal clear. Select somebody. Where are you at? Where are you at? Got you.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees.
Maybe the trash room's gonna be like him arguing it wasn't him or something.
If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
I mean, maybe she was trying to write him like a dying love letter or something, and that's as far as she got.
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all.
I wonder if it's the voice acting, because he sounds really not, like, bothered by this at all.
She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense.
And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
Well, you said I was the killer.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
The evidence that Leon tried to get rid of. It's that thing I found on the ground in front of the incinerator, right? that. The burnt shirt piece. I think the shattered crystal ball is a red herring. Maybe. I don't know. The shirt piece has blood on it, so it has to be that.
The shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't get the crystal ball. Burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. Because we've got the fact that the incinerator was on, and it was left on. And there was a broken crystal ball. So, and it was like, and the incinerator is like 30 feet away from the gate. So somehow, unless this dude, because he's a baseball player, took the crystal ball and threw it at the controls to turn it on, but then how do you throw your shirt, like you ball it up and throw it into the incinerator 30 feet away? But through that gate, is that gate like big enough to let you do that? There's something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible. How it was disposed of, maybe.
I got it! If you look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either.
Unless you threw something at it.
You need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. And that's exactly what proves that Leon is the real killer. Ever close. Make your argument. Shattered crystal ball.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the
Wrong.
trash?
What? Obviously only a person with the trash room key could get close to the incinerator. Which part of that is wrong?
Shoot!
You think about it one more time, there must be a contradiction in there. Whoa. No, that's correct.
The key to the trash
No, that's correct.
Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
Because somebody else obviously used
The
it.
only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator.
Wrong. Is that it, maybe?
No,
That's
wrong.
it.
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
Killer had to use the glass ball in a certain way, which was throw it.
I got it! The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate.
That is one hell of a throw.
All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Then again, he is the ultimate baseball player or whatever, but I thought it was more because he was a hitter.
Someone through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on. Very strange. I'm quite certain it was off last time I was down here. That explains why it wasn't off. Couldn't turn it off. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key. So the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they'd gotten the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire.
That does explain the piece of shirt that escaped the fire.
If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small.
Yeah, they really should have, like, brought up that this dude was a good thrower. Because they made it seem like he was, like, a hitter. And that was all he... I guess if he's a baseball player, he'd be everything, but still.
Could someone really do that?
That's right! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
Wouldn't have been much of a challenge at all for the killer because he's the ultimate fanfic creator. He's the ultimate baseball star.
I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
Actually, it makes sense.
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then. Makoto, go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
You did.
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. And the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
Closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Every case has one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is the closing argument. In this phase, you'll give a complete summary of the case. You'll have to reproduce the flow of events for the case in the form of a comic book. However, you'll notice that in the comic, there are a number of pieces missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at a missing section and press the left mouse button, holy cow, you'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Okay, I guess we'll just do it as we go here. Alright, let's go. I got 20 minutes to do this. That's a lot of time. Where did is this? Okay. Wait, what direction is this going? This is backwards. Okay, I see. Let's start from the beginning then. Okay. Guy came into the room. So that would have been the first thing. That's him coming in. Then she goes to stab him, and he walks back towards the katana. Then where does that come into play? Okay. She goes to stab, he's defending himself. She breaks her wrist. And then she's standing there while he's got the sword. She goes into the bathroom. He uses a screwdriver on the doorknob. Finds her. And I guess while she's dying, she writes the name. Where does that come into play? Okay, he picks up the lint roller. Then he goes here. He picks up the crystal ball. Gets the incinerator on. Burns everything. Doesn't get the shirt. Oh, wait, no, that's over there. Then he throws it. Oh, so there's one in here that's not used? Is that it? Okay.
The killer is you!
Was I right?
I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them. She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist. And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open.
So you can't even really argue self-defense here, because he could have walked away at that point, but he didn't. He went after her to kill her.
What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing. So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife.
Then again, he did show up with his screwdriver.
And stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there, but the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch.
I guess he could have done it. I guess there's enough room.
For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot. And that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed. part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator.
You'd think he'd have balled up his sleeves in there a little bit better.
The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence. Isn't that right, Leon?
Alright, we did it.
It would appear that Hero simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right? Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object! I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
Wait, there's more? I have the evidence? Your first bullet time battle is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. It's a very long trial. Sometimes during a class trial, your opponent simply won't want to hear what you have to say. When this happens, you will engage them in a head-to-head battle. We like to refer to this as a bullet time battle. During the BTB, you'll want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the... Oh god, not a rhythm game. I'm terrible at rhythm games. Match your button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen and reach the center. Press the right mouse button to lock onto an opponent's statement. Wait, what am I supposed to be doing here? Destroy a statement you're locked onto the left mouse button as the... Okay, what? Am I supposed to be hitting rhythms here, or am I supposed to be shooting statements? Destroy the statement you've locked onto with the left mouse button as the tempo marker reaches the center. Oh man, can I get like a practice run of this so I know what the hell I'm doing? Use this method to deal damage to your opponent. If you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. Do this consecutively and you'll start a combo. Keep this going and you'll initiate a tempo up. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get into a tempo down situation. When the tempo changes, so does the timing for hitting each button. So watch out for that. Good God. Deal enough damage to your opponent and their weak spot statement will appear. At this point, you can press the left mouse button to shoot it down with a true bullet like any other statement. Refute their statements fast enough, you'll come out victorious. But just like before, if your influence gauge reaches 0, you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun. Oh man.
When the killer removed the screws from the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
Use something of their own to remove the screws. What could it have been?
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid!
What does it even matter if he refuses to acknowledge? Why don't we just do the vote?
Stupid, 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 stupid!
I have to show indisputable evidence that Leon is a killer. I need to figure it out. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna have to figure this out as I go.
Here's your proof! You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid!
Okay, I think I get it.
Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me?
Oh god, it sucks. Help.
You lied! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me!
Oh.
Stupid! You lied! Stop talking! Shut up!
I did it. Okay. Oh god, that was pain.
This should prove it.
Oh, that was rough, man. I'm terrible at tempo games. I could do without that part.
The screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove them.
I mean, It had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh?
And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid. Stupid.
Stu is pretty stupid.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
So what the hell happens to him now? Cool, I guess. Oh, I got coins. I got 77 medals for doing that. Am I reading that right?
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make your selection. Oh, just to remind you all, make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oh, this is insane, man. Uh-oh, looks like you got it right on the money. The Blackened in this case, the one to kill Sayaka, was none other than Leon Kuwata.
Huh? Hey, hold on.
Hold on a second. Leon, did you really kill Sayaka? Didn't you just spend a whole court case proving that?
But...
I don't believe it.
You son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch, what the hell is wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
It was kill or be killed.
So, that's why...
I killed her first.
None of you are any different!
One wrong step and you'd be the one standing here. It was a complete chance that I wound up like this.
I was just... unlucky. That's all. Hey! Come on!
You expect me to just accept my death? Everything's become clear. The decision we made was right after all. But when I think about that, honestly, I'd be better off if we'd been wrong. Because if what we came up with really is the truth, then that truth is as Sayaka was trying to frame me. But even if that's true, I can't say she was wrong. After all, the mastermind is all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in her. If I was her and the video actually has something to do with me, I can't even imagine. You got a video that has something to do with you. Now we're trapped here with no way out. They're probably waiting for me. I can't afford to be stuck in here. The one thing that was more important to her than anything else, her dreams, her friends. To have to see something like that happen to them, Sayaka. I did whatever it took to realize that dream. I mean it, even some things that weren't so pleasant. And that's why Sayaka, for the friends that meant so much to her, that's why she betrayed me. I'm really wondering what she means by not so pleasant, and then part of me is like, I don't know if I want to know. So when she said,
No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
she was lying to me from the very beginning. She was using me. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? I mean, not really, because she did all that talking to him before that video. I guess I'll never know. Because there's nothing I can do to ask her what she was thinking. Once you're dead, that's that. Boy howdy, the entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, huh? I mean, to try and kill someone just because of those relationships. She seems so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside, she descended into pure madness. What did you say? I understand. Really, I do. Yup. You're in utter despair thanks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Compassion, intimacy, love. The stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair when they collapse. Stop screwing with us. This is all your fault. Sayaka being forced to do something like that. All of it, everything. It's all your fault. Suddenly in a frenzy, I lunged at Monokuma, and then I barely died at the end. But...
That's enough.
As angry as I was, Kyoko latched on my arm without hesitation. Her grip was like iron, strong enough, I was sure it would leave a bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now. Damn it. That was a close one. I thought for sure you were going to give me a good walloping. Just barely avoided punishment, you did.
Yes, indeed.
Now then, since you so magnificently revealed the identity of the killer during the class trial, the blackened Leon Kuwata will receive his punishment.
Punishment? You mean execution? Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice, I had to kill her.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just protecting myself in the heat of the moment. It was self-defense.
Is that okay?
How exactly was the self-defense? When you forced your way into the bathroom, did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she'd shut herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to go back to your own room. Then you came all the way back, broke into the bathroom, and killed her. Am I wrong? See, I thought he just brought the screwdriver with him.
Do you understand?
You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you chose not to. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder?
So, that's why...
No, that's not. Stop it. I've had enough of this.
Oh,
are you sure? You were closer to hurting anyone, were you not? You killed your precious Sayaka, do you understand? I can't say Leon is solely to blame. Of course, I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either, because the one to blame is him. So, if it weren't for you, this never would have happened to Sayaka or Leon. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting against the one who put us in this situation, the mastermind. Uh-oh, did you awaken to your sense of justice?
Hey,
Well, it just so happens that there's nothing more unethical than unwavering sense of justice. After all, it's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world. Is that the kind of justice that's awakened within you? Just shut up. Okay, well, anyway, more importantly...
Kills!
Let's hurry up and get to what everyone's been waiting for, the punishment.
I'm begging you! Please! Don't do this!
Hey, come on now!
No more begging, no more excuses. You must pay the penalty for breaking the rules. Society demands it.
Stop! Please!
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment!
For Leon Kuwata, the ultimate baseball star.
No!
Man, this game's crazy.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
No!
Like we're watching this dude get executed? Leon has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Oh, this would be a terrible way to go. There'd be like nothing left of you after that. This is some crazy shit. What we saw, that was the true face of despair. I mean, if we can't call it that, what else could we call it?
Extreme!
Ooh, extreme. Man, my adrenaline is pumping right out of control. What's going on?
I can't take it.
I can't take this anymore. Do we really have to keep doing this? I just can't take it.
Well?
Hey, if you don't like it, all you gotta do is swear to cut all ties with the outside world and accept living here forever. That's only if every single one of you can get on board with that.
Damn you!
Man, fuck you. Why the fuck are you doing all this evil shit to us?
What the heck?
Evil? You make it sound like I'm some dark, awful, secret society type of guy.
Say what?
Or in this case, a dark, awful, secret society type of bear.
Well...
So why are you putting an upstanding young citizen like me through such a grueling ordeal?
Hey,
Seems like you're trying to use common sense to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. That's like trying to put a mile on a scale. I just don't think is possible. Hey, I don't think what you're saying and what I'm saying quite fit together.
Dude, shit.
You piece of shit, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna pound your ass into the ground. You must really hate me to get so angry, huh? But if you do that, you're barking way up the wrong tree. What happened because more than one of you decided you wanted to get out, right? No matter how much time passes, you can't cut free of your regrets from the outside world. You're to blame. Of course we can't cut free of the outside world, being trapped in this insane place. You're trapped, are you? Well, I'm sure once you learn all the mysteries of this school, your thinking will change for sure. You'll think, boy, isn't it so wonderful how we all get to live here forever?
What does this mean?
What are you trying to say?
Hey,
I feel like there's some deeper meaning hidden in there, just like before.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Anyway, let's get back to the Blackened's punishment. That's what everyone is waiting for after all.
hey,
When you say everyone, who exactly are you referring to? Sorry, I said everything I've got to say. I need to save some of the fun for later. And just like that, he was gone. He left us there, overwhelmed by a nightmare turned reality.